At PHI, we're doing a lot of things right. However, when it comes to safety, specifically fatal or life-altering injuries, we want the future to look very different from our past. Too many men and women have lost their lives in work-related accidents here at PHI. Safety has always been a core value at PHI. In 2010, we made a decision to raise the expectations of safety performance at PHI through Destination Zero. Destination Zero was, and still is today, a call to action. There is no greater testament to our commitment to safety than the empowerment of each and every employee to stand up, speak out, and take action to protect themselves, their co-workers, and our customers from harm. Today, we build on that commitment and our culture of safety by specifically targeting our exposure to life-altering injuries and fatalities which have impacted too many of our employees. To do so, we are introducing a set of clear, concise, and simple life-saving behaviors. These life-saving behaviors were developed by a small, multidisciplinary team of experienced PHI employees and are based on data compiled from accidents and other life-altering incidents that have happened here at PHI over the past years. They were vetted and refined by PHI to ensure that they were on target and observable. PHI life-saving behaviors are intended to establish effective, actionable, and clear lines of acceptable and unacceptable behaviors, which can ultimately be the difference between life and death. Knowing and understanding the expectations of all 10 of these life-saving behaviors is critical to the safety of everyone who works at PHI, whether they apply specifically to our job duties or not. Due to the nature of the work we do, the potential for accidents to happen is something everyone should be prepared for at all times, regardless of their official duties. And while admittedly, these life-saving behaviors may not be new, understanding the criticality of each and always exercising the personal discipline to execute them daily will greatly reduce our exposure, serious injuries, and fatalities. It is through collaboration and engagements that together we will solidify our defense against life-altering injuries and fatalities here at PHI. Each of us has a vital role in raising awareness about how crucial these behaviors are to maintaining a safe work environment. To keep these life-saving behaviors top of mind, just remember the following acronym. Always. A. Life-saving behavior will assure your safety. Life-saving behaviors require action. Perform, verify, complete, exceed, ensure, practice, refrain, communicate, report, engage, always. The following are PHI's 10 life-saving behaviors. Life-saving behavior 1. Always perform an uninterrupted 360-degree walk-around. Over the years, ineffective execution and non-adherence to this simple procedure has led to subsequent fatal accidents and other serious incidents. Some things that should have been identified, such as tie-downs and unsecured cowlings and doors, ended up as accidents. A walk-around must be conducted as a separate, sterile task. If this sterile environment is interrupted, the life-saving behavior says to start it again. Life-saving behavior 2. Always verify critical maintenance tasks. The lack of a secondary inspection and/or the lack of effective inquiry and advocacy between those involved have allowed human errors to lead to high potential incidents and fatal accidents. Properly conducted secondary inspections are primary safety and quality assurance controls within the maintenance environment. Inquiry into what was done, how it was done, and what tools were utilized to complete maintenance actions is critical to this process. Advocacy in pre-planning inspection intervals at various phases of a given task is also critical to ensuring the completeness of a maintenance task. It takes two individuals working together to trust and verify that all maintenance has been completed. When it comes to safety, two heads are always better than one. Life-saving behavior 3. Always complete aircraft pre-flight checks. PHI Operations has relied on a thorough pre-flight check on the aircraft before the first flight of the day and/or upon shift change to ensure the aircraft is airworthy, safe, and ready for flight. Similar to secondary inspection, it is critical to flight crews as it provides an opportunity to discover unknown discrepancies or perhaps unsecured items associated with previous activity. Aviation is too unforgiving for flight crews to trust that a previous crew or maintenance team did not miss some critical item. We know this from experience. Always complete a thorough pre-flight prior to the first flight of the day or shift. Life-saving behavior 4. Always maintain VFR weather minimums. We all know that weather can be unpredictable. This makes it even more important that we continue to check the weather frequently, both before flights and during flights. And make sure to take action to maintain VFR weather minimums. It is better to abort a flight due to weather than risk an accident. Over the years, there have been numerous fatal accidents associated with inadvertent entry into instrument meteorological conditions, IIMC, and subsequent uncontrolled and controlled flight into terrain or water. For VFR operations, loss of appropriate visual reference has often led to deadly consequences. Always take action to remain within PHI's VFR weather minimums. Life-saving behavior 5. Always ensure helideck LZ safety. We operate in many obstacle-rich environments. Conducting a thorough evaluation of your intended landing area prior to final approach provides the best opportunity to recognize and avoid exposure to those obstacles. Proper aerial reconnaissance is necessary to ensure the area is safe to land. Failure to do so places everyone involved at unnecessary risk. Life-saving behavior 6. Always practice safety protocols with sharps. While our medical crews are most frequently in contact with sharps in the care for patients, they are not the only PHI employees that are exposed to the inadvertent contact with dirty sharps. Safety with sharps begins with the protocols established to mitigate the risk to the professionals using them as necessary tools and doesn't end until the sharps are disposed of properly. Life-saving behavior 7. Always refrain from using personal electronic devices during critical activities. Sure, it's okay to use personal electronic devices while on duty in certain instances. But during critical activities such as inspections, pre-flight checks, 360 walkarounds, operating aircraft, and operating motor vehicles, their use is not appropriate and they must not be used. Critical activities require full focus and attention and should always be conducted as separate sterile events. Personal electronic devices are well-known distractions. Therefore, their use is permitted only when integral to the task. Over the past few years, PHI has recognized an increased level of risk associated with inappropriate use of personal electronic devices in the workplace. Life-saving behavior 8. Always communicate critical information. Communicating clearly and effectively is critical to safety. To be effective, both the sender and the receiver need to listen to each other and ask questions to gather the necessary information in order to make well-informed decisions. By incorporating inquiry and advocacy into critical communication engagements, we limit our exposure to miscommunication. Whether it is a crew resource management, maintenance resource management, air medical resource management, or any other team-related function, effective communication is the key to keeping everyone aligned and on task. Always communicate critical information. Life-saving behavior 9. Always report to work fit for duty. Being well rested and both physically and mentally prepared for duty before reporting to work is extremely important. Always use your off time to rest appropriately and avoid strenuous activities that may lead to fatigue prior to reporting to work. If you've had a full and active day and then report to work the night shift, you're not fit for duty. If you're taking medications that may impair your performance, you are not fit for duty. If you are under some undue mental stress and it is impacting your focus, you're not fit for duty. It is always better for you to say you are not fit for duty if in doubt of your ability to perform your work duties. It's as simple as stop work. And finally, life-saving behavior 10. Always engage in defined behaviors to avoid mid-air collisions. Those in aviation for years relied simply on see and avoid techniques to avoid potential mid-air collisions. Today, see and avoid is still a required and effective tool. However, technology and improved procedures have added to those defenses. Today, the effective use of traffic alerting systems, effective communication, and altitude separation procedures are all part of the see and avoid equation. If we use each of these tools effectively every time we fly, we create the best opportunities to avoid mid-air collisions. Remember, these life-saving behaviors were developed to make us ever mindful of the employees lost due to work-related accidents and to inspire all of us here at PHI to do whatever we can to practice safer habits at work and end the loss of life here at PHI. Each and every one of you is the key to making this a reality. You are the living, breathing example of what defines PHI. So we want you to know that we're open to any and all suggestions you may have to bring each of these critical life-saving behaviors to life. Sure, we know that many of the life-saving behaviors mentioned here seem obvious and that many of you already live them every day. That's precisely why we need to view them in a new light, to recommit ourselves to performing these life-saving behaviors so that we don't ever take them for granted. Know that as an employee of PHI, you are always welcomed and encouraged to do the right thing on behalf of yourself, your fellow employees, and our customers to stand up, speak out, and take action. Because performing these life-saving behaviors can not only save lives, doing so brings us ever closer to our ultimate goal of reaching Destination Zero. PHI, believe in the difference you can make.